Hi, this is Olena of popthepimple.com and welcome to today's live. Hi, Miriam Munir, good to see you. Hi, Layla, Allah Raji, hello, good to see you guys. Claire Bear, nice to see you. So today I have silence. My neighbors are not banging about. That's why I'm joining you live. I wanted to do it yesterday, but it didn't work. But, because of the noise. So yay, I'm so happy to be here. There's a few things I would like to discuss today, but if you guys have any questions, any comments, I always invite you to contribute to the conversation, to the discussion, because you have amazing ideas and amazing insights and amazing experiences that if you are willing to share, I am wanting to hear them. I'm sure everybody else is too. Or, yeah. Good. So things that I wanted to discuss. There were so many things that I'm like, where do I even begin? Clear skin. Clear skin. I just wanted to kind of, what can I say about clear skin today? If you guys have any questions, again, write them below. But I've been noticing this trend of doing a lot for clear skin, and really efforting hard for clear skin. And I talk a lot about this all the time, but I just want you to know that things in life that you want, right? Things in life that you've always wanted, that you dreamed of having, those things are yours. Nobody can take them from you, right? They're already yours just by your sheer desire of wanting them in your life, right? When you have these desires for stuff in your experience, those desires mean something, right? Like when you want clear skin, when you want a particular maybe career path, when you want a particular like loving experience in terms of a relationship, a partnership, whatever. Those desires don't come to you just because out of your butt, They come to you for a reason. It's inner guidance towards what you actually want, right? Like it's true. Those desires are true. They're meaningful and they're yours. They're yours already. I love the phrase, ask and it is given. That's, I think, the title of one of the Law of Attraction books by Jerry and Hester Hicks, because as soon as you ask, it's already given, right? So you wanting something, it's already yours, but then we start blocking it. It's not here yet. It's not here yet. It's not here yet, right? And we do this with clear skin. It's really interesting because I watch it a lot. I just have so many experiences with so many different people, right? Clients and just people who I observe on the internet, and they're efforting towards a result, right? Because there's two different kinds of efforting, really. There's aligned efforting, and then there's resistant efforting. I didn't know what I was going to call it, but I never know what I'm going to say on these lives. But the point is, you want to have aligned effort, aligned action. You don't want to do resistant action or resistant effort, because the difference between aligned and resistant action or effort, doesn't matter what we call it, is huge in terms of the outcome that you get out of these things. And it applies to everything. It applies to dating. It applies to your health. It applies to your business, right? So hi Riz Lane Ben Saver, thank you for saying hello. Good to see you. When you take action from a resistant place, I think if I do all of this, if I put in all the effort, I'll get this result and finally I'll be happy, or finally I'll feel like I'm enough, or finally I'll feel worthy, because I've heard that a healthy person, these are the habits of a healthy person. So I must do this because this is what it means to be healthy, right? We create lots of stories about what is, right? And this kind of brings me to a second thing. Our perceptions, they dictate our outcomes and our experiences, right? Except what we don't realize is that our perceptions are severely limited. And our perceptions end up being misperceptions. It was even hard to say. Meaning that we think that we perceive things truthfully, but we don't realize that our perception goes through a filter of past experiences, right? And so we end up projecting past hopes, past outcomes, past emotions even onto a current experience, and we end up actually misperceiving reality when we do that. And then when we conclude something from that misperception, that will create a certain outcome. Like, for example, you've been dating all the wrong guys and say they all watch porn, okay? This is what you've been experiencing in your dating life. I never know what I'm going to say right on these lives. So every guy you date tells you, oh my God, I watch porn 3 times a day. And then the next guy, oh my God, I watch porn 3 times a day. And then the next guy, I watch porn 3 times a day. So now your perception is that guys watch porn 3 times a day, and that's what's normal. So when you meet a guy that doesn't watch porn 3 times a day, you're like, what the fuck? This is weird. How is this even possible? Because that's what I'm saying. Just because you have a certain experience over and over and over again doesn't mean it's a normal experience, and doesn't mean it applies to all experiences, but that's usually how the mind works. And I know many women who are like, that's just how guys work. They watch porn 3 times a day. But totally fucking not true, and totally not my experience. There are guys that watch porn 3 times a day, and there are guys that don't watch porn at all, right? And it just depends on Riz Lane Ben Saber is laughing. I just mean that we draw conclusions based on our experiences, and we think that those conclusions are correct, right? But they're usually very myopic, like nearsighted myopic, meaning you don't see the big picture, right? And you forget that there's actually a bigger, larger picture outside of what you can see. And then if that's, again, your expectation that all guys watch porn, you'll start attracting these guys that just, all of them, they watch porn, and you're like, of course, duh, because this is normal. And you don't realize that it's because that is your expectation that you're actually creating that experience for yourself, right? And this applies to skin stuff as well. Many of us, we look at, certain people who got clear skin, and we see, oh my God, she's like a vegan, or she, uses natural skincare, or I don't know if that's even if those two things go together, clear skin and natural skincare. But what I'm saying is, we kind of see people's experiences, their before and afters, their transformations, and we think that based on what that person experienced, if I just model that person's behavior, I will have the same experience. And it just doesn't often work that way. Anytime I tried to copy somebody else's experience, like when I was a fruitarian, when I was vegan, and blah, 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 right? I never had the same experience. It just all went to shit because my intention, right, behind my actions, and that's what I mean, the difference between aligned action and fucking resistant action. Mine was resistant. I thought I had to do all this stuff, right, in order to get a certain result. And what I'm telling you is, it's all a fallacy. It's all just a matter of perception. Health is our birthright. Abundance is our birthright. Joy is our birthright. There's nothing more natural than, health, abundance, joy, love in our lives. There's nothing more natural. But we, through conditioning and through all these experiences, have learned inaccurately that we must do stuff to earn this stuff. And what's interesting is, when we make these false conclusions and start efforting from a resistant place, right? Like I'm not enough place, so I'm going to try to fucking do all this stuff to try to feel enough, try to feel worthy, right? That's resistance, okay? When it feels really hard and you're like, oh, I have to do all these things. Oh, that's resistant effort. It's never aligned if it feels hard. Okay. Well, I mean, there's obviously some nuances here. It's not totally black and white, but in general, I should say in general, I like to be precise with my language, right? Generally speaking, alignment makes everything easy. It makes everything fill in without you needing to effort to get those results, right? So yeah, I see many people literally struggling for clear skin. And as you struggle towards it, you end up not creating it. You end up creating a mess. And that's what I've noticed with dieting. Yo-yo dieters, they do this. They don't choose a diet out of an aligned place. They choose it from a place of desperation and frustration. And that's that's how you really know the difference. Like if you're frustrated with yourself, with your current condition, whatever it is, your skin, right? Your love life, it doesn't fucking matter. Your business, you're frustrated, you're desperate. From that place, when you have an idea, that idea is fucked. It's just fucked. It will be the worst idea. And then you'll do it. And then you'll be like, oh, it isn't working. I must do more. Oh, this isn't working. I must do more, must do more, must do more. And that's ego. Ego loves that shit. It loves to keep you fucking busy thinking that you're doing so much towards these results, but then you're never actually getting what you want, because the ego is all about seek, but do not find, right? So that's the difference between, or that specifically is resistant action. It's action that is rooted in frustration, desperation, powerlessness, fear, right? And so it just never really works. And it just makes you stress the fuck out. It ruins your immune system, often throws your fucking hormones off balance. I've seen people who like literally shut off their periods working from this resistant place, right? Powerless place. So yeah, you don't get the results. You don't come close to them even. You end up ruining shit further. And then you're like, why? Because the action was not aligned, right? So what is aligned action? Aligned action is you sitting on your ass, enjoying yourself. Okay, that's that's aligned action. You like being like, what do I feel like doing today? Oh my God, I'm really drawn to this particular book. Yeah, I'm just gonna sit on my ass and enjoy this particular book because I just feel like reading this, right? And so you read the book and you're just sitting on your ass, and then inside the book, you're like, oh my God, this is the question that I've been pondering for the last decade, and it was in this book all along, but I was doing all this stuff and I wasn't reading this book because I wasn't listening to myself, right? And I was like fucking running marathons. I was like dieting. I've done 7 different diets in the last 2 years, you know, blah, 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 blah. But meanwhile, this book was under my nose the whole time, but I thought I had to be efforting to get this answer. And then you get that answer and you're like, oh, this was so easy all along. That's what aligned action looks like. As in, it's so easy. It usually finds you as long as you're able to fucking sit in silence, in stillness, in peace, in the present moment, right? Because we're all like obsessed with the future or obsessed with the past. And I read a really cool quote. I'm gonna have to like share it on Instagram here in one of my quote posts, right? When I do like little, I do a picture post and then like a quote post right here on Instagram. And I'll share with you the author of it, but it was something along the lines of, if you want to be joyful, then let go of the things that make you sad. Because many of us, we hold on to the things that make us sad, we hold on to future worries, and we just don't allow ourselves to be present right now. Like in the now, right? Fucking now, right? And so when we're not present, that's when we're practicing all kinds of dumbass resistant thoughts that tell us, ooh, must do this, must do that, I should do this, ooh. And so that's how we get totally off track. We end up, you know, we're spending years sometimes working towards something, but like if it's out of alignment, this work that we put in, then in the end we'll figure it out, because we always do. We always will figure it out, right? We'll always get to that point when we're like, oh my God, it could have been so much easier. Oh, I thought I needed to do all these things, but it turns out I didn't. Turns out I was just like fucking knocking my head against the wall the whole time, you know? And that's what resistance will do for you always. And I see it all the time. There's so many accounts here on Instagram where it's like resistance, resistance, like I'm resisting acne, I'm resisting health, I'm resisting whatever, you know? And it's just like, oh, it's a simple shift. It's a simple shift. But until you have that awareness that it's a simple shift, you don't make that shift, and therefore you keep efforting. And what I'm saying is that life actually gets to be easy, but we create all these arbitrary obstacles in our own minds, like, you know, I can't be happy right now. I will be only happy when I make $100,000 a month. A year. Or a month, in my case. But no, I mean, I'm happy now, but the point I'm trying to make is that we create all these arbitrary conditions, like, no, I can't be happy now. I'll be happy when I have clear skin. And what is true. Like literally, guys, I read so many books on these subjects, and what is always fucking true, and the same message that comes across from biologists, from quantum physicians, from spiritual fucking gurus, anybody who knows anything, and who has studied any part of this stuff, says that you can't have, it's not, you don't get happiness from success, right? You get success from happiness. And we get it all twisted. And it's not like you get, ultimate amazing health. You don't get happiness from amazing health. You get amazing health from happiness. So happiness is the ultimate cause of amazing things in your life. And happiness is the ultimate cause of ease. And it's interesting because resistance is the ultimate cause of dis-ease, right? Dis-ease. So disease is just you being not at ease with the present fucking moment. And the longer you practice that dis-ease, the more diseases you develop over time. And it's, I know that sounds maybe simplistic, but literally I'm reading a fucking book on cellular biology right now, and all this shit just makes sense. It all comes down to our perceptions of our environment, our perceptions of our own environment, perceptions or misperceptions as might be the case, but they actually change the way our genes express themselves. It's our perception that changes how our genes express themselves. Meaning, if I'm perceiving the world as a hostile place where I'm fearful, I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? Which, by the way, is something that's happening in the United States right now. It's really a huge culture, propaganda, I should say, of fear that's spreading across the nation. I mean, at least on the news it is, because the news, they only show you one side of the coin, usually the worst side, right? So if you see or look at the news, you might think that, oh my God, in the United States, there's this huge culture of fear. So that perception of the world and that experience, it creates dis-ease. And it's no wonder that in the United States, healthcare is super fucking, anyway, people's health is going down in the United States because of the stress that they are experiencing. And I think there will be an uprising, but that's neither there nor here. I'm just saying that how we perceive our environment totally fucking affects us on a biological level. And so if we want to be healthy, we have to be happy first. There is no such thing as being unhappy and creating health, unhappy and creating wealth, unhappy and creating love in terms of interpersonal relationships in your life. There is no such thing as that. And yet a lot of us are trying so hard from an unhappy place. I'm not happy, but I'm going to try to create this wealth. I'm not happy. I'm going to try to create this health. I'm not happy. I'm going to try to create this loving relationship. Impossible. It's impossible. Again, it's fucking impossible. Right? Rugail Ulit says, how to be happy? And this question I get almost on every live here that I do, because it's one that, everyone seems to have this question. It's a common question. And the only way you be happy is by you being happy. Who said it? Fuck, was it a president? Was it Franklin Roosevelt? Some famous, historical figure said, if you want to be happy, be. That is it. Happiness is us being present. That is fucking happiness. It's a decision to be present. But many of us think that no, it's winning the lottery. It's having an orgasm. It's having clear skin, and we make happiness, we make happiness synonymous with some kind of experience, but it's not that. It's your own perception of the world around you. It's by you simply being present that you are experiencing happiness. Except many of us, we're not present often. So for us, happiness feels like this thing that we must chase. And a lot of us, we even chase the present moment. It's hard for us to be present because we're bombarded with so much information, so much stimulus, right? stimuli, I should say, because plural. But we're bombarded with all these ideas all the time, people's other people's perceptions too, right? And misperceptions, most importantly, where it's almost very difficult to be present. And that's why we need to fucking meditate. It's like the answer to learn how to be present, because presence is simply focusing on the now. But again, because we're always fucking Instagramming, scrolling, Facebooking, all this shit. I mean, that's why these things were created, is to take our fucking attention. And I watched this movie recently, like days ago, The Great Hack on Netflix. And it was showing how Facebook, right, they use our data to then target us with advertisements, but not just advertisements, content, right? Because that's what the algorithm does. The algorithm is just the way Facebook or Instagram show us content, right? And they tend to tailor it to our preferences, etc., kind of. But there's also a class of the population that Facebook targets to win elections for certain people. So they will show, people who are prone to being really afraid, like fearful type of marketing, to play into their fear so that person will be manipulated to vote for a certain candidate. And they have won many elections this way through using Facebook and WhatsApp. I don't know about Instagram, but so the point is that now certain companies have figured out how to use our perceptions and misperceptions against us, and we're unaware. And so it's really fucking important to become aware, to understand the difference between what I'm seeing and what is presented to me. Am I only seeing this situation this way? Like the United States, anything in the United States is a fucking great example of this. Like, am I only seeing guns as good because people are fucking scaring me with crazy rhetoric about immigrants taking my job? You know what I mean? Like, or am I just being manipulated? And many people are being manipulated unknowingly because they're just so fucking unaware of even their own desires. They're so distracted. There's so much information that is all around them that they have stopped listening to their own voice, right? And so it's really important that we don't become one of these people, because it becomes a really scary, and you feel very powerless in that kind of situation. Like, as a deliberate creator, it feels fucking shitty when you're being manipulated, or when you're being, what's the word? Like, just when you feel like you're not actually creating your experience, like it just feels totally unnatural, because we all are deliberate creators. And so the further you get from that awareness, the more you forget that you're a deliberate creator, the shittier it feels. So that's, a lot of people develop all kinds of fears, panics, anxieties, depressions, etc. The further away they become from that awareness of, I'm a deliberate creator, I do see things clearly when I'm in alignment, right? But many people are not in alignment, so they do fall for manipulation. Like, this is how we get misled, by the way. This is why we fall for the bad diets, for the dumbass diets, for the fucking dumbass trends, is when we're out of alignment. We don't make bad decisions when we're in alignment. Period. It just doesn't happen. And it's like the ultimate life hack, alignment. And then people ask, but how do you get into alignment? And the only answer is feeling good first. Just simply feeling good is you being in alignment. It's not some complicated, far away concept that requires years of practice, or years of reading, or years of meditating. It's simply you understanding that when I feel good, I am connected to source. I'm connected to my inner being. I'm connected to my broader perspective. I'm connected to fucking God. I'm connected to my truest fucking voice when I feel good. And when I don't feel good, that's just a sign of me being totally out of alignment with who I really am, and me being totally out of discord with what my inner being knows, what my broader perspective knows, what God knows, right? So when I think, oh my God, I live in this fearful fucking place, I'm so anxious, there's terrorists everywhere, that feels shitty because it's not fucking natural. And your inner being is going like, no, you don't. You're a fucking deliberate creator. There's nothing for you to fear, right? So the more you practice those fearful thoughts, the shittier they feel, because your inner being's like, no, that's not true. So the further you are out of discord with your inner being, the worse you feel. That's it. So that's what it's telling you, that your thoughts are simply super fucking out of discord with what your inner being knows to be true. And your inner being knows how easy your life gets to be, how good it gets to all feel, how safe you really are, right? All the good stuff your inner being knows. But when you don't know, when you forget, that's when you feel shitty. Because so you guys in alignment, your inner being and you, which is just you and you in alignment feels good. The further you get from you, the worse you feel, only because it's telling you, hey, think like this. Think in harmony with me. Think good thoughts. You're safe. You're enough. You're worthy. You're loved. You're fucking supported. You're infinite. So you don't have anything to fear. You don't have anything to feel uncomfortable with. You don't have anything to feel dis-ease over. You have nothing to worry about, right? You don't have to work super fucking hard to prove yourself or to show this person that or to win this argument. You know what I mean? And so the point I'm trying to make is when we just chill the fuck out, in layman's terms, life gets to be extremely easy and unfold in a really beautiful way. It's just that we don't trust that. We think wrongly. We misperceive, right? We think wrongly. We think that if I work hard, I will get results. But I'm telling you is you don't have to work hard, okay? What you have to do is feel good. And if you feel good, you will get beyond results. But many of us, we don't trust that. We think, wow, if I sit on my ass, nothing is gonna get done, right? But it's like, if you sit on your ass and feel good, you will get a push, like an insight or a desire of, ooh, I feel like going for a run, or I feel like reading this book, or I feel like surfing this web page right now, or I feel like going out to meet this friend. And then you go and do that thing that feels good, and from that you get another insight, and you'll be guided in the most perfect way, in the most perfect direction for you to be able to get those ultimate results that you want, and now multiply them by infinity, because what you want for yourself is a fraction of what's available for you, right? Does that make sense? So like when we want clear skin and that's like the ultimate thing, that's a fucking fraction of what's available to us. It's like this small, like it's fucking infinitesimally small, if that's a word, compared to what's available to you, right? Like clear skin, that's fucking easy. What's next? What else do you want? What else do you want? What else do you want? Because your life is that, a magnificent creation, right? And what we do is we think really small, and then we get really fearful, and then we feel really powerless and disempowered, and we're like, oh, clear skin is hard. No, it fucking isn't. That's a fucking misperception of the situation and what's available to you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Let me know what you guys think. Please, please, please. What are you saying? What are you saying? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What are you saying? What are you saying? Let me see. I'm scrolling. Give me scrolling. Rugail Ulit says, I'm addicted to the internet and it makes me so tired and not happy. Well, that awareness is beautiful. If you understand that the internet doesn't make you happy, I find the same thing. The internet doesn't make anyone fucking happy. Like, so you're not special in that. We're all in the same fucking boat. The internet is really useful from one perspective, right? Like, many of us are able to reach a lot of people, change a lot of lives using the internet, and that's kind of cool. But on the other hand, it also creates a lot of comparison, like people compare each other's experiences to other people and blah, blah, blah. And so when you're kind of lacking that spiritual knowing of this is who I am, I'm an infinite being. I'm a deliberate creator. So when you scroll, you don't scroll with like anxiety, right? You don't look at somebody else and be like, oh, this person's life is better than mine. How do I get like that? No, when you're an infinite creator, you look at that and you're like, oh, that's possible for me. That's cool. Yeah, I think I'd like that. I'd like to experience that one day. And then you keep scrolling, right? So it's a totally different experience when you're scrolling in alignment versus when you're scrolling in resistance. Does that make sense? And like what I'm talking about, this resistance and alignment thing, it applies to everything. Scrolling, health, business, fucking everything. We have to start to tune into ourselves and stop distracting ourselves and stop looking for answers outside of ourselves. We have to actually start hearing our own fucking intuition, because like, and our emotions, our emotional guidance system, because again, when it feels good, it's true for you. It's good for you. It's amazing. If it doesn't feel good, then it's probably not fucking true. You know what I mean? Or you're entertaining a thought that's making you not feel good. And so when we become really aware of this and we go, oh, I don't feel bad about because of my clear skin. I feel bad because I think that me not having clear skin means something bad about me. What if it didn't mean anything bad about me? What if there's nothing actually wrong with me? What if I'm perfect and this clear skin is some really innocent, or this acne or whatever skin condition is like a really innocent thing that can be super easily fixed? And once you start thinking like that, somebody comes into your experience that says, hey, clear skin is actually super fucking easy. All you need is a really healthy skincare routine, like a simple skincare routine, and your skin is going to start thriving really, really quickly. And you're like, oh, I never thought of it like that. I thought I had to fucking restrict every single fucking food group, become orthorexic, exercise every day, meditate every day, journal every day. You know what I mean? I thought I had to do all this other stuff to have clear skin. And it's like, no, you just have to feel good and apply this really easy skincare routine, and then you're going to feel great. And then your skin is going to heal. You know what I mean? And so you're only receptive to messages like that when you fucking feel good. And then those messages, how you know that they're true for you is that they'll feel good, right? But you have to get yourself to a place of telling positive stories about your experience, perceiving in a way that serves you, right? So like if I perceive that clear skin is fucking hard and it's a genetic thing and that there is no cure, oh my God, clear skin, this unattainable fucking thing, then I'm gonna attract fucking terrible advice, which has happened in my life. When I was out of alignment, I attracted the worst fucking possible advice. I did so many things, okay? The more stuff I did, the worse my skin got. And now I barely do anything for my actual skin except skincare, right? Like for my actual skin, particularly for clear skin, the only thing I do is skincare, right? Everything else I do for other reasons, like to feel good. That's my primary reason for doing anything. And guess the fuck what? Clear skin, right? Like, but again, I told myself a totally different story than I did before. Before I had this fucking resistance story of, oh my God, it's so hard. I have to be perfect. In order to have clear skin, I have to be perfect first. Many of us, I think, tell ourselves that story, right? I have to be a perfect eater. I have to be a perfect exerciser. I have to be a perfect thinker. I have to be a perfect career woman. I have to be a perfect fucking girlfriend or wife or whatever. I have to be a perfect mother. And then maybe as a perfect human, my skin will finally heal. And you see how fucking exhausting that sounds? It's like, good luck, right? Does this make sense? Rugail says, you are the best person on the internet. Thank you. That's so sweet. Rugail says, I agree with you. Aw, thank you. Rachna2511 says, the knowledge you impart really blows my mind. Aw, thank you. Yay. I'm so happy that you guys are receptive. I think that you're receptive because you're in alignment, right? You're ready to hear what I have to say. Maybe you even are manifesting this yourself, creating this experience, right? I mean, not maybe, you are. If you're hearing this right now and you're like, oh my God, this is exactly what I needed to hear. You just created this experience for yourself because I never know what I'm going to talk about. Right? So I come on here and then whatever the vibes are, that's what I talk about. Alexa Carten says, I love these lives. Thank you. Thank you, Alexa. Alexa Carten says, live talks, whatever you call them now. I understand what you mean. Thank you. Yes, we'll figure out the name thing. Amy Allchurch says, hello, babe. Hello, good to see you. Yes, so alignment. Alignment is the name of the game. And I show up here talking about it every single fucking time. But again, it's not something complicated. It's not something you chase. Okay, so we have to stop chasing. And it's okay to feel confused. It's okay to feel... Here's another thing. Somebody, one of you, messaged me and was like, how do I find purpose? I feel so guilty not doing anything. And I said to this person, I said, listen, you enjoy this kind of peaceful time in your life where you're chilling, and chill, enjoy, because one day, probably very soon, you're going to find that thing that keeps you fucking, not necessarily busy, right? But like doing stuff, doing the stuff that you want to be doing, but still doing stuff, right? Hopefully out of alignment, so it's going to feel really good. But still, you'll be thinking back maybe, and once you get what you want, because we always do this, right? And you'll be thinking back on those days when you were chilling and you were like complaining about it, right? Like that's what we tend to do as humans. We tend to fucking resist what's in front of us. Like say, I haven't found my purpose yet, so I have all this time to chill and enjoy and like rest. And I think of it as like resting before the big game, right? Like preparing, it's preparation ultimately, right? And life is often preparing us for something fucking amazing. And instead of us chilling and enjoying that moment or that, phase or whatever, we feel guilty. We feel ashamed. Oh, I have to be doing stuff all the time. Oh, I'm not doing anything right now. I'm just resting. Oh, so I'm going to feel bad about myself while I'm resting. And it's like, no, you get to actually enjoy it. And I had a similar time in my life. It was like before I knew what the fuck I was going to do with my life totally, right? I had actually an extended amount of time to enjoy. And so what did I do? I worked on my fitness. I was reading all the books, I was dating like a fucking machine. So I was just doing other stuff in the meantime, and I was doing it out of fun. And I was getting into debt, but I'm like, I'll figure this shit out. This isn't a forever thing. And I can't rush this process, like I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. But in the meantime, I was trying all the things too. I was having fun. Like I was pushing myself outside of my comfort zone, discovering who Olena was and what Olena wanted. So for example, literally, I jumped off the highest bungee tower in the world. I think there might be a higher one now, but at the time it was the highest, okay? So I jumped off that even though I was super afraid of heights. I still am. I'm probably more afraid of heights now than I was before I jumped, right? So the fear doesn't disappear, by the way. You just kind of do the thing anyway. And you become more confident in you being able to do the thing anyway, despite the fear. That's all that bravery really is. And so, I did that. I took bartending classes. I took pole dancing classes, even though I was like afraid of being seen dancing in front of people in a class for some reason. Like I would dance in a club, but I was afraid to dance in a class. And then I did it and I realized there was nothing scary at all about it. And it was super fucking fun, so I was just putting myself outside of my comfort zone, and pushing myself in various ways just to have fun, and I hoped that by just trying all these different things, I would know like, okay, this is what I'm enjoying, this is what I don't enjoy, and gravitate towards more of the things that I do enjoy doing. And ultimately, I figured that it would bring me to my purpose, and guess the fuck what? It did. Because ultimately, on the side, I was also reading about skin stuff all the time, right? And I didn't even realize that I was doing it. Like, it was a regular thing in my life, probably from a very early age. But especially since my late teens, I think that's when, I was really into it. That's when it really began hardcore, and especially when I couldn't find a good moisturizer, that really forced a lot of research. I've been doing it for a long time, and it took like the right people and circumstances to show me that, because it didn't occur to me. It didn't occur to me that I was super obsessed with psychology and spirituality yet. It didn't occur to me that I could make a living out of, just enjoying these certain topics like skincare, spirituality, etc., right? And yet it led me to where I am today. And so had I resisted it and had I not taken the time to read the skincare stuff, the spiritual stuff, the biology stuff, the diet stuff, and go through all these things, I wouldn't have come to this experience today. And again, I still had plenty of time to chill, plenty of time to like just literally sit outside and read a book, okay? I did all that. And I was like, wow, I'm so lucky. Like people have jobs and here I am jobless, but I get to sit under this amazing tree because I'm just imagining where I was living, etc. And I was sitting under this amazing tree in my backyard in an amazing neighborhood in Toronto where I could just run out, like literally go running in my neighborhood because the neighborhood was so pretty with all these beautiful plants and trees. And I remember I went running in the rain at night and any hour of the day because I was free. I didn't have a fucking job. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. And so I just did whatever felt good, right? And that's how you do it. You just trust that it's all going to work out. It's going to happen in the most perfect way. You don't have to rush it. You don't have to force it. You don't have to really, really work hard, right? Me, I was reading these books, not because I had to read these books, because I enjoyed those books, or the articles on the internet or whatever, the research that I was doing. It was just joyful, right? It was just so natural. I was just following the flow. Like I had a desire to read about sebum. So I read about sebum. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, I was like, I must read about sebum. If I don't read about sebum, there's something wrong with me. You know what I mean? Jubek Marie, good to see you. She says, using these ideas to help my 5-year-old overcome something in her life that feels huge and scary. I'm so happy to encourage her to get a foundation of this thinking so she will be so much better off. Oh my God, that's so amazing, Jubek Marie. Like, oh, you're such an amazing mom, seriously. Like I'm just reading this book called Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton, cell biologist. And it's so amazing. Like right now I'm in the conscious parenting section and I'm like, this is so fucking cool because I wanted to learn about parenting, right? And then of course I find a book when I also love biology and all this kind of stuff. And so I find a book that has a chapter on conscious parenting and I'm like obsessed. And yeah, like we're being formed inside the womb. Like we already kind of create, it's not that we create memories as such, but we already our parents' biochemistry is transferred to us. Biochemistry, it's like if a parent is super negative, then that negative biochemistry gets transferred to the child, right? So, I mean, there's so much to biology and there's so much that we're still learning. It's so amazing. But the point I'm trying to make is that, yeah, we have a lot of influence over our own lives and the lives of our children, and we have to be conscious of our influence, of our impact on everything. I mean, the world as a whole, one of us can impact everything. So we have to be really conscious of our own vibration, of our own alignment. And when we do that, honestly, everything fucking shifts. And it only takes a few of us to really make a great impact. If we can just consistently practice this alignment, which is literally my number one priority in my life, is alignment. And I find that when I'm practicing it, which by the way is just me feeling good, right? When I'm just feeling good, amazing things happen with me sitting on my ass. And this was the hardest thing for me as a doer, as an Eastern European, okay? This was so hard for me to grasp. This was the hardest thing because I was taught that laziness was a bad thing, right? If you're lazy, you're fucking a terrible human, like you're useless, just get the fuck off, and in Eastern Europe, like people are hard workers, right? My grandparents are extremely hardworking. Like my grandmother is almost 80? Oh no, like 76, but still, she still works as hard as she did in her 30s, or you know what I mean? So nothing's really changed for her. And it's crazy to me, like the amount of effort that is done, what's the word? Is required, I guess, in these people's minds. Right? Because they don't know how to chill, but they transferred that feeling to my mom and my mom transferred it to me. I mean, my mom's still learning how to chill, right? And I'm still learning how to properly chill because it's a biochemistry of stress, of needing, hard work, right? That biochemistry is transferred to the child, and that gets transferred again and again and again until we stop the fucking pattern, or the cycle, I should say. And yeah, it took me a long ass time. And sometimes there are still moments where I'm like, I have to remind myself that it's okay. It's safe to chill. It's safe to enjoy. But like now, less and less. This is like a very rare awareness that I have to remind myself of, because it's becoming more of a thing that I actually embody. And I notice all these miraculous things happening when I just don't do anything. Like when I just feel good. Right? So like, and it's almost like we need to hear it. Like we need to have like permission to like not do anything, you know, to feel good about doing nothing. Yeah, because we should feel like it should be an important part of our daily practice to, when we feel out of alignment, not do anything. Do nothing when you're out of alignment. Only do stuff when you feel like doing it because it feels good. And this is, I know this for some people is like, what the fuck? But like, I know I have to exercise. And I'm telling you that if you think you have to exercise, then don't exercise. Like, exercise when you really want to exercise, not because you feel you have to exercise. This subtle shift is everything. Do you understand? Like, so don't eat healthy. Don't eat healthy because you feel you have to. And if you don't, it's this. If you don't, how will you feel about yourself? If you don't eat healthy, if you don't exercise, what will that say about you? If it says nothing about you, then cool. That's amazing. But if you don't eat healthy, if you don't exercise, and you feel like a fucking loser, like you're lazy, like you're worthless, you know, like you're just like a terrible human that sucks at life, then we have to work on that alignment. That's all that it means. Because if you have a tendency to tell yourself this story, the story is just not true, fundamentally not true, right? So the longer you believe it, the more you will effort from a resistant place, and the longer you will experience those things that you don't want to experience. Do you understand? Does this all make sense finally? I hope it does. Jebek Marie adds, it's pretty incredible that you're reading that right now and helping me and my girl more than you know. Aw, my pleasure. Yeah, like, I don't know if you've read Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton, any of you, but I really highly recommend it if like you're interested in cellular biology, genetics, epigenetics, conscious parenting, why we are the way we are. But from a biological perspective, it's fucking fascinating because I learned so much about cells that I previously didn't know. In grade 10 biology, I actually paid attention, and I knew what the nucleus was, and the Golgi bodies, and the cellular membrane, and all these things, right? But this book really fucking flips grade 10 biology on its ass, right? But yeah, like we kind of had this Darwinian view of how things work, like genes determine our, you know, like it was this nature versus nurture debate for the longest time. I remember like from an early age, I remember this debate was going on, and people didn't know if it was nature or nurture that determined who you became, but it's starting to come out that it's more nurture rather than nature, as in like, you know, twins, they have the same fucking DNA, but then they're fucking totally different because they have different experiences, and it's your experiences and your perception, most importantly, of your experiences, the beliefs that you have. And beliefs are just thoughts that you have on repeat. That's all that beliefs are. It's not something like, oh my God, why do I believe that the earth is, you know, flat? I don't know. Anyway, beliefs are not something that is fixed in us. It's something that we create over time, right? By thinking like, oh, clear skin is hard, clear skin is hard, clear skin is hard, or clear skin is genetic, right? Clear skin is genetic. So for me, I'm blessed with these terrible genes that I have fucking acne, right? If those are the stories that we tell ourselves, those stories become our beliefs. If those are the thoughts that we entertain, those thoughts become our beliefs, and those beliefs then determine our experience of, say, our skin, right? And then we're like, oh, it's genetic, so I might as well not do anything. Oh, it's genetic, everything fucking sucks. Oh, this is just my life, you know? And so you don't actually try to change anything when you think it's genetic. And many people live these fixed lives thinking like, oh, well, got it from my parents. And it's like, no, you fucking didn't. You got those thoughts from your parents, maybe, but you get to have your own thoughts. Like, come on now. All right, guys. So how long have we been talking? Some time now, some time. So I think that to practice presence and being present, we should meditate. And honestly, the more I learn about meditation, the more I'm like, it is so fucking cool, the stuff that it can do to our DNA and like aging us backwards, literally healing us, like it turns on healing. We have all the answers inside of us. We have all the healing tools inside of us, but we keep being like, oh, I need this pill. Oh, I need this fucking instant quick fix. Like, I need to do all this crazy shit to myself, you know, like a fucking coffee enema or dry brushing or fucking jade rolling to, you know, increase my lymphatic drainage. And it's like, bitch. You gotta trust your body more. That's what we have to do. It's so easy. Fuck. Like our body's processes, once you learn more and more about them, you realize that you're actually useless. As in like you don't have to do anything. You can just, well, except feel good, right? Because when we feel good, we heal and we allow our body to work properly. And when we don't feel good, when we're fucking stressed, our body suffers. Physically, on a biochemical level, like it really, our thoughts affect how our genes are expressed. And I can say this in a more, I think this is like what, the most direct way I can say it. Our thoughts affect our gene expression, right? And our thoughts are able to trigger healing and turn on, suppress even like cancer genes and all this shit, right? Diabetes, so many things. Like we can suppress illnesses by thinking well, and we can create illnesses by thinking not well. And people don't want to like change their thinking. They're all like, no, I'll take this fucking pill. Which, again, I'm reading a book on cellular biology and the pill section is fascinating. Pills are so nonsensical. There's always so many side effects. They throw our bodies totally off balance. They're actually useless. But because we're surrounded by messaging that, ooh, I'm just going to pop this pill and it's going to feel better, you know? That quick fix dumbass mentality, it creates a sicker and sicker and sicker society. You notice that we're not getting healthier? I mean, I am, but in general, society's not getting healthier. They're just spending more on medication, but they're not actually getting healthier. You notice that? There's a reason for fucking that. There's a reason. There's always a reason. And people are not asking, like, why am I getting sick? They're just like, how do I get healthy? How do I get healthy? And it's like, why the fuck are you sick in the first place? I'm telling you, though, it's the thoughts. It's thoughts. It's really what it comes down to, how we perceive the world, and we can change that shit. So, again, I'm just going to remind you that you need to put on your deliberate creator panties and then create whatever the fuck you want, and it gets to be easy, it gets to feel good. You get to live a joyful and fun-ass life, okay? In case you forgot. Okay, so time to meditate. Do we have time? Yeah, I think we do. Oh, shit. I don't think so. I think it will run out of time and then the video will turn off. So let's at least meditate for 7 minutes. We can do 7 minutes, can't we? At the end of the meditation, you will hear this sound. Fuck. Woo! This sound. So let's do it. 3, 2, just get into a comfortable position and just breathe, okay? Focus on your breath. Don't focus on your thoughts. That's the key. It's very simple. 3, 2, 1. I hope you enjoyed today's live and this wonderful meditation, because I sure did. That was very relaxing, even though it was short. So don't forget to meditate and get those benefits for yourself, because they're crazy. They're just crazy powerful and so easy. It's free, it's free, it's free, I keep saying. So I will talk to you guys on the next live. If you have any questions, you can always DM me or email me at olena@olenaballet.com. Especially like if you have any topic suggestions for these wonderful lives, or a name suggestion for these lives. Have a beautiful and sparkly day, and remember that it gets to be easy. All of it.